Every one of us, in one way or another, has been through a transition or a transformation over these last days. Whether it's been marked by a ceremony or rite of passage or initiation is totally irrelevant. Change has been wrought for all of us. Over these many years, many times it's been stated, we have to know who we are and we have to know what we do. And I too have to be counted in that. So whilst it cannot be stated in words who I am, it can be stated what it is that is done, and it's been stated from the very beginning and is put in the words of a Zen master much better than what could be described by myself. So you could say it's a credo of kinds. And then to complete, there's a little story already told that speaks for myself. It's called the Hsin Ming. The great way is not difficult for those who have no preferences. When love and hate are both absent, everything becomes clear and undisguised. Make the smallest distinction, however, and heaven and earth are infinitely apart. If you wish to see the truth, then hold no opinions for or against anything. To set up what you like against what you dislike is the disease of the mind. When the deep meaning of things is not understood, the mind's essential peace is disturbed to no avail. The way is perfect, like vast space, where nothing is lacking and nothing is to excess. Indeed, it is due to our choosing to accept or reject that we do not see the true nature of things. Be serene in the oneness of things, and such erroneous views will disappear by themselves. When you try to stop activity to achieve passivity, your very effort fills you with activity. As long as you remain in one extreme or the other, you will never know oneness. For the unified mind, in accord with the way, all self-centered striving ceases. Doubts and irresolutions vanish, and life in true faith is possible. With a single stroke, we are freed from bondage. Nothing clings to us, and we hold on to nothing. All is empty, clear, self-illuminating, with no exertion of the mind's power. Here, thought, feeling, knowledge, and imagination are of no value. In this world of suchness, there is neither self nor other than self. To come directly into harmony with this reality, just simply say, when doubt arises, not true. In the not true, nothing is separate, nothing is excluded. No matter when or where enlightenment means entering the truth, and this truth is beyond extension and diminution in time or space. In it, a single thought is 10,000 years. Emptiness here, emptiness there, but the infinite universe stands always before your eyes, infinitely large and infinitely small. No difference, for definitions have vanished and no boundaries are seen. So too with being and non-being. Don't waste time in doubt and arguments that have nothing to do with this. One thing, all things move among and intermingle without distinction. To live in this realization is to be without anxiety about non-perfection. To live in this faith is the road to non-duality, because the non-dual is one with the trusting mind. Words, the way is beyond language, for in it there is no yesterday, no tomorrow, no today. So to sum up what it is that I do, is to take us back to that old story about the seeker after truth who lived an ordinary life in a small village. But there was a mountain, and it was whispered abroad and known that there was an old sage sitting on that mountain. And the seeker had aspirations to go, to seek out the sage and learn from him what he could. So one day he took courage and made the arduous journey up the mountain and finally came to the ledge where, when he came before the old sage, who was sitting outside the entrance to a vast cave on a rock. And when the seeker met the sage, he begged, "Please teach me what I need to know." And the old sage, with piercing eyes, said, "Go, go, go." Now the seeker begged, "Please, I'll do anything. I'll serve you in whatever way. Please, just teach me." But the old sage said, "Go." And so the seeker staggered down the mountain, went to his family, who asked him, "What did the sage say?" And the seeker said, "The master said, go." And so the very next day, the seeker set out, taking only some bread and cheese and a flask of water with him, and had many adventures along the way, taking him into endeavors, experiences, learnings, until some long while later, with grey beginning to appear in his head, it was time for him to return. When he came back from whence he came, his father and mother were long since gone. But he stood at the doorways of his old house and looked up at the mountain and said, "I wonder if the old sage is still there." And so he climbed the mountain once again, and there was the old sage sitting on the rock at the mouth of the cave. But now the seeker stood tall before the old determined, not bowing. And the old sage got up and said, "When you came before, I said, go, go, go." And then, reaching out his hand, he guided the seeker into the opening of the great cave. I'm that old sage, and I've been sitting outside this damn cave for decades. And now, as you stand, having been through your transition, having been through your rite of passage in one way or another, and stand tall, knowing who you are, unbowing, unbending, the hand has been reached out to you to guide you into the mouth of that cave, into the mysteries, into the great mysteries that lie within its seeming darkness. But first, it has to be admitted, it has to be acknowledged. I cannot go back. I stand tall in who and what I am, unbending before any knowledge, any being, any outside entity or teaching, so that the readiness is there to enter that vastness. The hand has been reached out to you, dare you take it? Time is finite. I've been sitting outside this cave for decades. It's been cold and wet and hot and all the rest of it. About done with it, so make up your mind. Take my hand or not, as you will. Thank you.